so I moved back into this area as a single parent of two, one of 4 months, one of 2 years old, with no family and friends around me. My health visitor recommended the, what's it called? Is it the, oh, it's left my brain now, the Henry program, food one, that one, just to kind of get us into something. And from there I learned so much. I lost a lot of weight on it too, because they taught me all about the healthy eating and everything. I learned so much, and the first thing I wanted to do was start volunteering, start doing something, because it just gave me a new lease of life, coming into an area not knowing anyone about, like, anyone in the area, not knowing about the area at all. And it just gave me a small community around me. So I just wanted to jump in. So I did my parent champion training, met lots of people very similar to me in similar situations. And I used to just come here all the time, just for a break, just to come and speak to people, have a hot cup of tea, you know. And they really pushed me to become a better person, become a better parent. They pushed me to go and get the qualifications that I needed. So I went to college. I came out with a full set of distinctions. Don't know how I did that. And then I went off to uni after that as well, and I qualified as a midwife, first class of honours as well. Couldn't believe it. I was usually a straight D&E student at school, so the fact that I came out of that was incredible. They helped me do lots of different things that I was quite passionate about. So I provided a hypnobirthing course for the community for free for people that couldn't afford to do it themselves as well, which kind of runs alongside everything that I was kind of passionate about. And one of my absolute favourite events we ever hosted was it turned into something massive that we didn't really realise how big it was going to be. We called it Something Old, Something New, where we reached out to the local community to ask for donations of things like clothing, prams, anything baby stuff that we could get. And we literally filled this whole room, literally tables everywhere, and took over the other room. We had stuff in cupboards. It was literally falling out of all of our houses, all from the local community. And we had people just come in and take what they needed, as much as they needed. We had the homeless health visitor come with some of her clients as well. And one lady had absolutely nothing. She had 3 children. One of those was a newborn baby, didn't have a pram, didn't have anything. And she came in, she took home a pram, a bassinet, and clothing for all 3 of her children. And I remember her leaving and just having goosebumps over my whole body to think that has changed those children's lives, just having the basics that all children should have, you know. They were really underprivileged and they left with everything they needed. And I'll never ever forget that day, that people that were really struggling knew that they had warm clothes for their children that day, you know. It was just a massive impact, and it's what this program's about.
So how long have you been involved?
Oh gosh, so my son was 4 months old when I came back, so that's, gosh, 2018? So, what's 2025 now? I can't do math, that's like 8 years, isn't it? So, quite a while, yeah, on and off. Obviously with COVID hitting, it was a bit hard to do much in that time, and then my little ones aged out, but I was still dipping my toe in as and when I was allowed to, like, come let me stay, I don't want to go anywhere.
So it's had a really big impact on you personally.
Massively.
And do you think, how important do you think the co-production, like being involved in co-producing services, has been?
I think it gave me an understanding of how services worked in the area, instead of just being a parent and going, oh, there's nothing here, or we could do with this. It gave us a voice, so we could get what we needed from the community at the time that we needed it, you know. And it made you realise how multicultural we are, or how much poverty there were, or just differences in opinion. It really broadens people's horizons being involved in that, because you just think this is what I need, but you don't always stop to think, okay, but what does everybody else need?
Fantastic.
Good. You said about how it's changed you, and you said about the fact that person came and doing the clothes, it made you kind of like feel very different. So obviously when you started, you were talking over there when you said about how, like, your confidence, and you didn't know anything in the area and you were young and all this kind of thing. So how could you describe the difference in the way you are now because of your experiences? So how now brown cow, how are you different from from when you started, Lisa? What's the effect of it on you, kind of emotionally and confidence-wise and skills-wise?
So when I came back, I was 23, but I was probably a lot younger in myself. Very self-conscious. I struggled a lot with anxiety and depression. I was really quite low in myself. I'd left an abusive relationship, so I really was at rock bottom. And this whole project helped me put myself back together piece by piece. And I found bits of myself that I didn't even know existed. You know, I never would have believed in myself to have gone to college or gone to university, and having all these people cheering me on every step of the way, it really made me go, okay, maybe I can do it, you know. So I gained that little bit of confidence bit by bit, and the fact that I've gone from being someone who wouldn't have said boo to a goose to now working, say, with health visiting and advocating for families that can't advocate for themselves. Like, I couldn't advocate for myself, so I see a lot of myself in the clients that I now support because of this place, and it's given me everything that I need. It's really set me up for life, but also teaching me to advocate for my children. That's been a big deal. Just having someone that goes, you know what, it's going to be all right. I don't know how many times I've cried in these walls, like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to parent, and like to go through all of that, and now supporting other families, like, I feel like I'm on the other side of it now, you know.
Fantastic. Focusing on your input, can you tell us a bit about the book and your input on how that happened and how it developed?
Yeah. So initially, the idea for this book came along, God, years and years ago. It must have been, my boy was in a creche, so he must have been about one, so like 2019, probably 2018, before COVID. I was sitting in a big official meeting. I can't remember exactly what was going on. It was a lot of stuff that I didn't quite understand yet. And it was just when they were starting to get an idea of who Pip would be. It was before Pip was completely invented, and I thought, oh, it would be a really cool idea if Pip could be in these books and help children along difficult times in their life or new changes. So one of my first initial ideas was like, oh, maybe Pip could be there for a new sibling, because I knew that a lot of the children in the programme at the moment, they had mums that were pregnant, or they had something going on, changes in their family, or it could have been something about disabilities, or just generally teaching moments for children that are big moments in their life. So I put that forward, and we were all game for it initially. And then we had a meeting with people, and it didn't quite work out initially. My vision wasn't quite coming across, so it was kind of put to the side for a little while. And then this year I got a message saying, oh, we want to try and do it again, do you want to be involved? And of course I jumped at that. It'd been a while since I dipped my toe in here for a little while anyway. And we had an incredible team. Everyone brought their own things to it. We had someone that works as a teacher, we had someone that's an incredible artist and was an amazing with colour, as you can see in the book. Like, she's absolutely incredible. And we had lots of discussions about the storyline, what kind of we wanted to go through. And then when we kind of got involved with the speech and language team, we were like, okay, we need something that's going to be based, that works for all of us as a co-production, because we all had our own opinions on what that story should be. But when we looked at everyone's individual skill set and what we needed to put forward for the community, that's where we came up with this story about that transition to school, because it is a big deal for the kids. It's, for some children, it's the first time they leave their parents, you know, or it's like they're going from nursery, which is a really small environment, to a big area. So we just found that that would be the most important story to put forward, and a really good way for us to access all of the community, because all of our children go to school in some way or another, you know. So that's kind of where we went with the story, and I'm just so proud of this book and what we've created, and the fact that my name's in this book as an author. My kids go, my mummy's an author, to all their friends. And they're like, she's going to be famous. I said, not quite, but I'm really proud of it and what it's become, and I'm hoping maybe one day someone will pick it up in years and years when they don't necessarily know about the story behind it and go, this is a really good book, you know. I'm really proud of it.
Can you tell us about the fact that it's going to be in everyone's? Is it going to be in everyone's book bag, or how's it going to be put out?
It's been delivered to things like nurseries, that kind of thing, given out to the children to take home to read with their families. The book is very kind of parent-centred in the way that the parent kind of drops them off and picks them up at the end and they discuss their day, but also Pip's kind of there to support them all the way through in the story. I've lost my train of thought, it's left me.
Don't worry.
That's all right, don't worry. Take your time.
Yeah, so it was delivered to lots of nurseries, providers, also given to any of us that have access to people, because there will be children that don't have access to nurseries, that kind of thing. Libraries, we're just kind of getting whoever will take them, we're kind of take them, hand them out. We had, I believe we had a stall in the town as well where people could come and take them. And on our launch, everyone was given a bunch of books to share with the community. So in whatever way we could get them to people, we just shared them, share the love.
So I'm looking at Cam.
I'm
She's
not
not
allowed
supposed
to
to speak.
Sorry. So, one of the reasons for doing this is, as well as helping people reflect on their experiences, is to think about other people that might be thinking about starting a project and involving families or parents in that work, doing the co-production kind of angle. Is there anything that you would say to another organisation or another parent starting off now, from your experience, things to think about?
Again, I think we all think we know what we need, but until you speak to lots of different people from lots of different backgrounds, you don't realise that just because you need it doesn't mean other people do or don't need it. You need to have a full awareness of the whole community, not just a small portion of it, because we are so very different, but we all do things in different ways, and making sure that we have access to everyone is the most important part, because people that say come here and they don't speak our language, they are still parents, they are still going through the exact same struggle as I am or the next person, you know, it's just a little bit different. So making sure it's all accessible to them, which is like going back to the book, another reason why when you look at the back of it, there are QR codes so it's accessible to everyone, because we are a community, whether we speak the same language, whether we believe in the same things. We're a community and it needs to stay that way.
Great.
Brilliant.
I've got, yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't notice that.
We tried to make it as accessible to everyone. There's even a QR code of me reading it at the back, so if you can't read, you can still hear the story.
If it was starting off again, if Better Start was to start again now, is there anything that you think that we should have done differently?
The only thing that I struggled with, which we did kind of address towards the end, is that my children are September born. So when they turned 4, they had a whole nother year until they started school, and there was just that gap for us where they kind of aged out. But I mean, I still dipped my toe in anyway, but they tried to cover that towards the end, but it was just a little bit too late. So just to be mindful that until kids start school, whether or not they're 4 or 5, like, they're still going to need that support.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic. You've done fantastically, by the way.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, absolutely.
I love this place, can you tell?
Yes, yes. I think it's been an amazing place, hasn't it?
It healed a lot of parts of me that I didn't know needed healing, for sure.
Fantastic.
And I will really miss it.
And do you think you'll get involved in something similar going forward?
I would like to, career dependent obviously. When I started I was a parent, stay at home, and now I work full time, so, but I always help where I can. If I can do anything, I will.
Yeah. Fantastic, thank you.
Thanks.
You so
That's
much.
brilliant.
Really brilliant.
Okay.
Oh.